Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. I got two to show you. A couple of units came in from the scrapper that delivers. He had called over the weekend and said, hey, I've got a Toro machine. I've been working on it. It needed carb work. I think it had been submerged, and I just don't want to mess with it anymore. I says, well, how much do you want for it? He says, let me bring it by and you can look at it. So I did. It looks like a nice machine. So I'll show you what we're doing with this or gonna do. And then he called me a half hour after he left and said, hey, I just found another machine, an Easy Walk. Do you want me to bring it by? And I said, yeah, let me see what you have. So I bought two. I paid 20 for this and then 10 for the Easy Walk. So the production date on this is 12/20/2015, so 5 days before Christmas on this Kohler powered machine. Let me give you the Toro number, model number 20370, and they're calling this a 16. I know the engine's a 15, but it was at the end of the year they carried it over. They're calling this 16. The serial 316-038-714. Country of origin, Mexico. So, I'll show you this side. You can see the rust on the brackets. That would indicate severe water submersion. So he gave me all the parts. He had them in a bag. The choke linkage, the thermostatic wafer. He said it didn't come with a cover, just the backing plate. The screws here for the recoil, I have those. You can see the cup here is all rusty. He said he cleaned up the flywheel here. Let me just show you this since I have the beauty ring off. You can see all the surface rust here and on the coil, the spring. This stuff normally doesn't get rusty. This is rusty. Rust here on the bracket, and the white powdery corrosion on the aluminum. So maybe 20 wasn't a good one. But I was just looking at the deck condition and the tires. It looks pretty good for a 2016. He did have the discharge chute and the blade. It's got a lot of meat on it. You can see the surface rust on that. So I kind of looked at the oil, and that doesn't look promising. You see how it's light in color. It's got a lot of water in the oil. That'll need to be changed. So I'm wondering if I should even try to start this. I was going to put the plug in. He had the plug out, and I was going to just try to kick it off. So here's the carb that came out of it. Corroded. So he had a similar carb. He's got it came with a Huawei here. He had a similar body on this Ruxing. So he shifted all the stuff over to this one and then just kind of called it quits. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my carbs and get a brand new one and throw it on here. I think he gave me, yeah, he did give me the emulsion tube. I don't think I have the jet. I do have the float and the needle. I'm just going to put another carb on. You can see the condition of the bowl on the submerged Toro. So he gave up, shifted some parts over, and then just called it quits. So for the fun of it, I have some Super Tech in a can, some carb cleaner. I just want to see if I can get this thing to kick off. If it looks like it's going to be a crap show, then I'm going to move on to the easy walk. Okay. Dig up. Where are the nuts for this? That's what might be missing, is the 3 nuts for this. I could use the 2 nuts for the carburetor and just steal another nut off of a nearby Kohler. Why don't I do that? It won't take long. I need a 10 millimeter. I'll put these on by hand. I don't have the DeWalt out here. Breezy day today. American Airlines is coming in. He's got the metal to the pedal, fighting that headwind. Okay, I got a 10. I just got to get maybe an extension. Live television. Okay. We're going to plow. We're going to keep plowing. Use this ratchet here. What else has been going on with you guys? Fixing stuff, waiting patiently for mowing season. Slowly building my inventory up. I think I'm going to get a certain amount of units ahead and then start doing some of my other projects. The county pickup truck I bought last year, I want to do some work on that. I bought parts for it. The blower fan was out. Radiator had a crack in the plastic tank. I got another radiator. There's some things I want to do. Okay, so that's on good and tight. Clucky, I'll leave you there. I'll throw the carb in it. I thought I had a good starting point with this. I thought for 20 bucks, if there's no issue with compression, that could be the killer. tank's empty. The fuel line's off the tank, along with the inline strainer. So it'll be no problem putting this thing back together again. I've got plenty of examples around, but I think I've done these Kohlers enough where I can just manhandle it. It's not difficult. Just goes on one way. These are long spark plugs. Maybe I should have did it by hand. There we go, finally. Snug that down. Plug wire. Click that on. We know we got shitty oil, but we're just gonna do a quick blast here, direct injection. Okay, that was a good one. Let me pull on it. Nothing. Oh yeah. Oh, it felt like it wanted to go. Little puffy duffy. Yeah, some of that carb clean poured back out, and it was kind of crappy looking. Yeah, it's a bunch of rust in the intake tube. Rusty, snotty, crappy junk. Wow, that helped it right there. It really kicked off and blew some smoke. So a new aftermarket carb will help this thing out. So we got compression, that SuperTech fired off. Happy with this 2016. Let's shift you over to the old Quantum engine on an Easy Walk platform. Sears. This is a crafty all day long. I know it doesn't say it there. This is Craftsman. So it's the electric start variable speed drive system. We've gone through these numerous times. It's got this double cable system here for the recoil. And this hoojamadingy, I always take this off. Get rid of that. Let me give you Craftsman here, 917 period 370440. Serial 071821 Mike 04973. Sears, Hoffman Heights, or Hoffman Estates, Illinois. So looks like it's an 07 according to that. Data manufacturer. I'm trying to read this. It's rusty. No, it's a, excuse me, the serial's a 2012, not 07, and it's 2012 here. I'll have to get a wire brush and give it to you later. Looks like June of 2012. Oil looks good. It's at the right level. The other thing I noticed is how low it is to the ground. They had this thing pounding manhole covers really low. moldy on the gas cap, mold on the tank. This was outside, stored outside. So it's like push to start on the start, but there's none of this stuff works, I'm assuming. It's got the starter right there. Somebody's put this here. It's moving the air vane. See if this stuff is free and clear. I had looked in the tank and it looked a little wet, but I don't think there's any amount of fuel in it. What we could do is just try to kick it off with that Super Tech. Oh, okay, that's pretty well worn on the blade. There's no lift on it. I'd have to change the blade out, but not too bad as far as scaly rust. There is some surface rust. I seem to have a trend with these style Craftsman with the Quantum. I had done a few of them like a month ago, like 3 or 4 in a row. And then it seemed to be pressure washers. Okay, this thing has been sitting in a damp environment. That's all rusty. And that's no good. It seems like on these, the last few I've had, they've been in this kind of condition where you can see through them. And the pleats have been totally caked up. Oh, that looks disgusting. I'm wondering if this was a floody, but the oil looked fine. Just looking at this stuff here built up. If it's water, kind of stops right here. Inside of the throat don't look bad on the carb. Okay, let's kick this thing off. If it kicks off, I've got a little fresh gas here we can put in the tank, turn on the fuel valve, and see if we get action. Okay, that was a good dose. Okay, we got an aftermarket plug on it. Looks like NGK brand. Okay, kicked off first pull, and I see some smoke, so that calls for a drink of petrol. I think this will clean up. I like going through these Quantums. I'm familiar with the carburetors and how to set up the choke. Okay, that was plenty. Probably put too much in it, but grease this thing down. Engine made in USA of US and global parts. Warning, don't drink the gasoline. I won't. Turn the fuel valve to on. We leaking while I'm speaking. Nope. No drippy drippy. I want to be a hippie. Okay, let's try it since everything looks like go. -5 to lift off. Okay. So I realize what the deal is. Started off, but we have no easy walk here. This thing is deader than a doornail. So we got a broken cable or something. And I just had an old shake out of here, and he just jumped on the sidewalk for dear life. So let's, I think this is a 1/4 inch nut here. I'm going to take this off and see if we got a broken cable or what, but we got dead action on easy walk, so that's not easy. So they got tired of pushing that hunk of metal around, and they just said, the hell with this shit. This is going to the street. I'm going to buy a new, brand new machine that's going to sell Propelled. None of this pushing dead weight, all this extra battery crapola weighs too much. So we're looking at maybe a blade and a cable. The blade has got to go. Or is it 8? It's one or the other. I think it might be 8. Yeah, it's 8. So we're going to zippy zap this thing off. This is an easy one to remove. There's just the 8 here. It's not like the newer front wheel drive plastic systems. They got the whole bolt screw deal on the underside you got to take off. And these things here have been a pain in the ass for me too, because as you see, we had some rain. The water was just collecting on this nut. And what happens, it rusts, and then it's a son of a gun to get off. Little worthless screw can hold you down. Southwest is coming in. Southwest is bringing people from Des Moines. And this is extremely long for some reason on these. Somebody's tightened the head or had the head off. The head bolts look like they're a little, couple of them are rounded. There we go. Finally. Okay, so what is going on? So I see the cable down there. And the cable is, oh, it might be broken because I'm pulling on it and it seems to be pulling down from above. Let's grab some of it here. Yeah, it's either we got too much slack up there or this thing's broken. I think it's broken because I got some cable strands here. I'll show you in a minute. Once I start fishing this thing through, I'm using the tools I have. Yeah, yeah, this thing is, it's got to be broken. There would never be this much slack. And I just ordered like 2 or 3 of these because I didn't have this clippy down system, so I have these in stock now. Okay, so it's stuck somewhere, but we know what the deal is. There's a break up there, and you see all that chafing there. I don't know what it was rubbing on. It makes a 90-degree here straight down to the bottom of the transmission, but there's got to be a break. I can't pull any more out of the line, but there'd never be that much slack. So we've been through this before. There's like 5 Phillips here on the bottom. I did a video on these. Turn them upside down. Fish the new cable in here. Put this all back together. Run it through the channel and then back down into the transmission. Guy needs a muffler. I've done the video on how to change these things out. See if I can give you a part number right away. And I can't. The other cable has it, but I can't see it on the drive cable. So there we go. That's all I can tell you. I'll try to get this cleaned off. The engine number looks like 128 Mike something, but I'll put that down below. This is a 2012 Craftsman, so that's why they ditched it. Self-propelled in-op. I kind of noticed this wheel was kind of funky, like it was twisted a little bit. It's not helping that the plastic shield is not doing what it should. So this might be the issue on this one. See, it looks kind of bow-legged. It's got a huge crack here. That could be what's throwing off the balance. So we may need another drive wheel on this side, which I think I just bought when I was messing with these. A couple weeks ago, there was a sale. I think somebody turned me on to a Big Jungle sale on these wheels, and I bought 8, I believe. They came in 2 packs. 2 for $11.97 or something ridiculously cheap, and I ended up taking advantage of that sale and bought some new wheels. These are gray, but the ones I bought are white, which doesn't really matter on the color plastic. The tread pattern's the same, and the hole for the axle's the same. It's not going to match the rears. The rears have gray plastic, or will have grays. Anywho, that's all I got. I got one here that I'm working on. You can see this thing I got rid of. And what I do is the safety brake has this hole in it, so I put a nut and bolt through it. Doesn't have the Z bend. Yeah, this one broke off all the way. It doesn't have a Z-bend up here, you got to nut and bolt it. So I got a couple of washers there. And so I salvaged the brake control, and you could see the new drive cable here has been installed. I got it married up to the safety brake. And I think, yeah, these have the star bit. Anyway, you guys have a good day. That was my 2 for 30. 10 on that crafty, and then 20 on the good looking Toro recycler. You guys have a good day. Appreciate you coming out, checking out my channel. I hear somebody coming into town. Who's it gonna be? Clucky, who is it? United. United's bringing a boatload of people to Southwest Florida. Come on down. Spring break. Weather's nice. You'll be happy. Adios, amigos. Tip your waitress and waitstaff.